There's this myth in music that if you really care about your art, you gotta quit your job. But the truth is, most of your favorite artists either have a 9-to-5 or were definitely holding one down even through their biggest blow-ups. And if you could talk to them, a lot of them would tell you that that paycheck was the only thing keeping the dream alive. So for today's video, we're gonna get into what exactly it looks like to balance a job while chasing your music dreams. But before we get into all that, if you look below this video, you should see a join button. Yes, we have launched our membership space, the NLN Backstage Pass, where we're going to be dropping exclusive content, BTS from videos and interviews, and we even have some member-only live streams planned. So if you're interested in that, check that out. Once again, it should be a big join button below the video, or you'll see a link button in the description. But if there's something that you're not interested in, then make sure you hit that like button, share this with an artist that needs a little bit of game today, and let's get into the video. So I actually want to start with a story that shows just how unpredictable the game can be. This is Insomniac Lambs. He's an artist that had a blow up during the SoundCloud era, and he talks about what the reality of this game looks like for a lot of artists. Check this out.
Performing at Rolling Loud, doing songs with Uzi, Playboy Cardi, 21 Savage, music video on MTV, going tour to tour, going city to city, being a freshman candidate, doing all this popping stuff, thinking I'm about to blow up, man. To 5 years later being a fucking construction worker, man, hey, you want to talk about a whole different lifestyle adjustment? Man, I wasn't prepared for none of that. All this shit I was doing, bro, when my music was popping and going crazy for real, I thought I was about to be out of here. I thought I was about to be a millionaire, man. The industry would never really like gravitate towards me for real. Like I remember I was 26 and they told me that I was too old to get signed. And this is like at the time when everybody was getting signed. Like the labels they would not fuck with me for some reason. Then my best friend died like 2-3 weeks before my son was born. That was weird. I had to get used to that because me and him was doing everything together. He was shooting all my videos. I was going out of town with him, hitting the road, getting stuff done, you feel me, making sure we was putting on for the brand. Then I really had to adjust to being a father and sitting down and putting time into that. So my mind was just all over the place because I couldn't leave and go do whatever the fuck I wanted to do no more. So I was just super thrown off for like a long time. But it started feeling like I was hitting every accolade, doing everything that I could do by myself and getting like hitting millions of views on songs, doing shit like that. So it just started getting depressing because I was like, man, I can't keep funding this out of my own pockets. I need the label to take me to the next level, but the labels just wouldn't fuck with me. So I was like, man, that shit just started getting depressing, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like, don't get me wrong. When I was doing construction, I was making like fucking 70 an hour or some shit. It was good money, but I just never could get into it because I knew what my passion and what my dream was. My passion and my dream has always been music. It's always been to be an artist. It's always been to showcase my talent. So it just felt like I was wasting my time, bro. That shit really like was fucking with me every day. Like yeah, I'm making good ass money. I'm coming home with a nice check every week, but this shit just ain't me. This ain't me.
So the reason that video really hits is, for me, Lambs was an artist that had the momentum, he had the attention, right? He was getting the calls from the labels, but he is a proof that just because somebody has momentum doesn't necessarily mean that the money is matching up, right? Or even, you know, bigger, just because somebody is streaming crazy, once again, doesn't mean that they're rich. If you heard him say it, he thought that he was going to be a millionaire because of all the attention and hype that he was getting at that time. And actually, I want to show you guys this Spotify Loud and Clear report to kind of get a little bit deeper into what he was thinking and what other artists are thinking. And if you're unfamiliar with Spotify's Loud and Clear report, this is something that they drop once a year where they break down the economics of artists on the platform. And they've been doing a good job of documenting the rising trend of artists being able to monetize just their Spotify catalog, right? So feel however you feel about Spotify. Like I said, they've been one of the best in terms of like documenting everything around it. So if you take a look at your screen, you can see they have it broken down by the amount of artists that have made X amount of money on the platform. So this 10 million bubble is how many artists have made $10 million just through their catalog on Spotify. So I want to take a look at 50K to 100K, because I think that for a lot of artists when they're first coming up, this is about the range that you're looking to hit, right? To be able to just maybe take care of your life or have a slightly better life than you were having when you were working your 9-to-5. So let's dive in and see what those numbers are looking like. So if we take a look at their 2024 report in terms of artists that were able to make 50K from just their Spotify catalog, we're looking at 22,000 artists, which if you look at the trend, things have been growing. And that means that over time, we will start to see more artists who are able to make that amount. But when you start thinking about how many artists are out there in general, what are we talking about? A couple tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of artists? Then that number starts to show that, hey, it's possible, but it's still not the reality for the vast majority of artists. And if we take a look at the 100K chart, the number starts to get even smaller at just 12,500 people. So once again, throughout music, we are seeing the trend grow of artists and creators be able to take care of themselves just off of their music. And I will give a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because I do feel like we have to make maybe like a 30 to 50% adjustment when we consider the other streaming platforms that an artist is streaming on. But once again, this kind of goes back to what Insomniac Lambs was saying. He thought he was going to be a millionaire, and the numbers are showing that that's still not going to be the reality, even if you have a hot moment or you are a hot artist at the time. And if we give him, bro, even a little bit more grace, you know, he was on SoundCloud, I want to say like around that 2016 to 2018 era. So back then the number was even smaller of artists just making 100,000. If we go back and look at the 50K mark, a little bit bigger, but still not that crazy. So once again, when Lamb said he thought he was going to be a millionaire, the numbers are showing just how unlikely that was. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, but Corey, I'm not even trying to become a millionaire off my music. I just want to be able to take care of myself. I just want to be able to live wherever I'm at, you know what I'm saying? Maybe even at the bare minimum. And I want you guys to check out this video about how many streams it takes just to be able to hit minimum wage. Check this out. Wait, quick pause, because a lot of you have been asking, how can I work with you guys one-on-one? And yes, we can run almost any type of marketing campaign at this point, but honestly, we prefer working with clients from a consulting standpoint because we actually get a chance to deep dive into their music. We can work on their brand, we can work on their content strategy, we can tie it all together into a marketing campaign. Basically, we can give you a blueprint on how to grow, monetize, and win. So if you're an artist that's serious about getting their branding together, their content strategies together, their marketing together, and apply for a call with our country brand agency arm using the link in the description below. Serious inquiries only, please guys. So if this sounds like something you need, once again, hit that link in the description. And if not, we still love you anyway. All right, guys, commercial break over. Let's get back to the video.
567,000 streams a month is what you need as an artist to just make minimum wage. Yep, that's what they just calculated. And it took them a little bit of a while to find somebody with like spot on that amount of streams. And it was somebody called Alison Moyer. She used to be in a band called Yaz back in the 80s, I think it was. I used to listen to them. And she's been a solo artist since. She has an average of 567,000 streams a month. So Alison Moyer is making minimum wage. But again, Alison Moyer has been around since the 80s and had quite a good bit of success back then. So remember that the next time you're thinking about your career and how to gauge all this and where you fit and what you need to achieve, and maybe reevaluate the whole picture. 567,000 streams a month, every month, just so you can earn minimum wage. Is that worth it? Is that fair?
So you heard it, guys, 567,000 streams a month just to be able to make minimum wage. And that's not a small number or a small goal to hit. So that shows you why artists who may have even super loyal fan bases or even 2 to 3 times that amount of streams monthly aren't exactly, you know what I'm saying, about to get fuck you money no time soon, right? Like they're not rich. So I think one of the dangerous realities of the music industry is that a lot of big artists aren't talking about things like this, right? Like they're not breaking down the exact amount of money they're making monthly for the smaller artists to study and understand. And what I think happens is that smaller artists will see these big streaming numbers and assume, I just need to hit that and I'll be rich, I'll be a millionaire. But music marketer Matt Bacon breaks down what is the reality for a lot of the music artists, even the ones you're paying attention to. Check this out.
Your favorite musician probably has a day job. As much as people like to present as rock stars, most folks, even those playing to like 500 to 1,000 people a night, have a job when they're off the road. And sometimes that might be in a creative industry and it's tied into their music, right? But they still have to have a job to pay the bills. And yeah, some folks might say that's because the industry is toxic or whatever. In my experience, it's just because to have a successful release, to have a successful tour, whatever, there's a lot of infrastructure that needs to go in place. People that need to get paid, base expenses you can't do anything about. And look, there are ways to make it work and make independent music your full time. I know tons of people who've done that, who've made the sacrifices and found a way. I'm just saying, let's set the expectation and realize that a lot of folks you love are working still. And some of those people would argue having a job makes their art better because it means they don't have to sell out and do what they think is going to be popular so that they can keep making their art full time. I'm not saying that's right either, just something to consider. So don't stress if you're not making a bunch of money on this yet. There's a lot less money in this game than people seem to think.
So what Matt is saying is absolutely true. You will be surprised at how many artists have a secret day job, right? Where they're not telling their fans they have a day job, and you know, they may be very active in it to minimally active, but they're using it to make sure that they can either A, supplement the money they're making from their music, or B, kind of like Matt was saying, fund the elements of their rock star lifestyle. And that kind of goes back to what I was just saying. I think that that's one of the most dangerous things about the music industry is how some artists are portraying themselves, because it makes the everyday artists, right, the smaller growing artists think like, hey, like it's not gonna take, you know, a lot for me to get rich. I just need to kind of hit this pathway and then make this amount of streams and I'll be there. Meanwhile, the artist that you're looking at that's even making you think that way, bro is a consultant down in Silicon Valley making $200K a year. And that's how he's able to afford all of these things to grow his music while he's maybe making $400 a month, you know what I'm saying, off of the music. So yeah, Matt broke it down perfectly. So many artists, whether you know it or not, have jobs that they're using to fund everything. And once again, I'm not knocking it. I'm very much so a do what you gotta do type of person. I believe that every artist should keep a job, and we're gonna get into some of those tips in a second on how you can balance it. But if you are an artist who's listening to this and you feel like you're not convinced on why you should keep your job, why you shouldn't call your manager up and quit right now, check out this clip from legendary artist and exec Akon and listen to what he has to say about it.
They feel like once they become an artist, they don't need a job. You gotta have a job. You need just get a part-time job to pay your basic bills, phone bill, rent, like just basic. It's okay to work. We all gotta do it. Nobody gonna laugh at you if you flipping burgers. I was stocking groceries at Kroger's before I made it when I got out. I wasn't getting back to the streets. But the point is, it's a responsibility that you have to understand to accept for yourself, that you have to have a plan A and a plan B. Your plan A should be your gift, whatever that is. And everybody ain't gonna be good at music. I don't care what your friends tell you.
Even more so than just being able to pay for your artist image, right? Like making fans perceive you a certain way. You just gotta live. One of my favorite things to tell artists or even clients that I'm working with is you can't chase the dream if you're dead or you're homeless. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess I have seen homeless people chasing their dreams, but you for sure can't chase it if you're dead. And so taking care of yourself, making sure that you, the artist, survive to even be able to give us the art is probably one of the most important steps of blowing up and becoming an artist. I will argue at least top 3 steps. So if you're balancing work and music right now, here are some things that I've seen artists do to actually make it work. Number 1 is going to be find a flexible job. This could be a remote job, some type of delivery gig, a night gig, something that allows you to protect your creative energy and to have some flexibility to build around the opportunities that will come to you. A bonus tip here would be to find some type of job within the music or the creative industry, right? A lot of you guys have other skills outside of being a music artist. You can mix, you can do graphic design, you can do video work. And I think that a dream job for a lot of artists should be working for another creative, because at least you get to keep your foot within the music industry or the entertainment industry while you're working to figure your thing out. But if you can't get a job in music, once again, finding something else that gives you a lot of flexibility and gives you, the ability to kind of leave yourself open for opportunities is going to be one of the best places to start. Number 2 is going to be to use that paycheck as your first investor. Now, once you take care of your life and you get, all the things you need to actually live, then make sure that you're setting aside some of your money to be able to do things that help advance your music career, because I'm sure you still need studio time. You probably need to run some ads. You might have some visuals you need to pay for. And I think that building the discipline and building the balance, while you're within that, while still making sure that you can live and eat and do all that stuff, is going to help you as you get bigger and as you get more money from your music. Number 3 is going to be to treat music like a second job. Now, don't get lost in the sauce of that paycheck, especially some of you guys who go out there and get jobs where you might make more money short term than you will ever think to see in music. You know who you are and you guys are out there. But you want to block out regular hours to do things like work on content or write music or record music. And you want to be just as structured within that process as you are within your job, so that you can make sure that you're never losing time to chase the dream because you had a work day. Number 4 is going to be to leverage the story for content. Now, this tip isn't for every artist, but sharing that you have a job and what you're going through while working towards achieving your dream, it humanizes you almost like nothing else can. I remember a long time ago when Tierra Whack, this rapper from Philly, posted a picture on her Instagram stories of her clocking into work. That like damn near broke the internet that day. And in like a positive way, right? So many people started to share their stories about how they too were working at a restaurant or a warehouse or something like that while having bigger dreams and bigger aspirations. So So it is one of those things that can make fans root for you. But once again, I completely understand if it's not for everybody. And tip number 5 is to stay humble and always be ready to pivot. Now, the music industry is interesting. It's always changing. You know, these big impacts come along every couple of years that shake things up for everybody. The new people trying to break in and the people that have been in it for years, if not decades. So even after a good run, something might happen that makes you need to go pick up a shift somewhere again. And to me, that's not failure. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's showcasing endurance. That's showing that you really want to make it and you're willing to do whatever you got to do to be able to keep going and going to the next level. And so I know a lot of these tips weren't, you know, the most glamorous, but I really do believe that this is how you build sustainability in music. This is how you build your endurance to be able to get through these things. And shit, let's keep it a buck. This is how you build the money to be able to do stuff to help you get to that next level. And in an industry that's as unpredictable as music is, yeah, you want every security blanket you can get. The music game looks glamorous on social media, but behind every success story is somebody who had to figure out how to keep the lights on. So having a job doesn't disqualify you as an artist. And in a lot of cases, it's the only reason you can stay in the game long enough to even win. So now I want to hear from you guys. Do you think having a job helps an artist or do you think it holds them back? Have you ever had to balance the two? And if so, what tips would you share to other artists who are trying to balance their music dreams and working their jobs? And if you like this video, sub up, hit that like button, and make sure you share this with an artist that needs a little bit of game today. I'm Corey, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.